Are you eagerly waiting for the strange, old, rare, historical, and Wild West photos? Yes, you are in the right channel. Welcome to the Timeless Frames channel. Let's start. Outlaws posing with stolen gold. Colorado, 1875. Here, outlaws pose proudly with stolen gold in Colorado, showcasing their ill-gotten gains from a successful robbery. This photo reflects the audacious nature of frontier criminals and their flaunting of wealth. The image captures a moment of triumph and the allure of gold in the Wild West. It's a striking reminder of the greed and ambition that drove many outlaws of the era. Discover the humble beginnings of one of the Wild West's most notorious towns as Dodge City rises from a single, unassuming house. The first house in Dodge City, Kansas, 1872. The first house in Dodge City, Kansas, is shown in this historic photograph, marking the beginning of one of the most famous Wild West towns. This humble dwelling symbolizes the early settlement and growth of Dodge City. The image captures the modest beginnings of what would become a bustling and infamous frontier town. It's a fascinating glimpse into the early days of Dodge City's development. The rise of women in bodybuilding. First female competitions. The emergence of women in bodybuilding, showcasing the early female competitors who paved the way for future athletes. The rise of women in bodybuilding represents a significant shift in fitness culture and gender norms. The image captures the determination and strength of the first female competitors. It's an inspiring look at the evolution of bodybuilding and women's growing presence in the sport. Step into the heartbreaking world of young child miners, battling brutal conditions deep underground. The harsh life of child miners in Pennsylvania. Child miners in Pennsylvania reveals the tough conditions faced by young workers in the coal industry. These children endured long hours and dangerous work environments, contributing to the harsh realities of industrial labor. The image captures their resilience and the dire circumstances of child labor in the early 20th century. It's a sobering reminder of the challenges faced by young miners. Sissy dancer in double-headed serpent mask and hemlock shirt. The Sissy dancer, depicted in this photo, wears a striking double-headed serpent mask and a hemlock shirt, showcasing the intricate ceremonial attire of the indigenous Kwakwaka'wakw people. This image highlights the rich cultural traditions and spiritual practices of the Kwakwaka'wakw. The mask and shirt are symbolic of deep-rooted beliefs and rituals. It's a captivating look at the artistry and cultural significance of indigenous ceremonies. The Mugshot of Chicago mobster Al Capone. During the Prohibition era, Mugshot of Al Capone during the Prohibition era captures one of Chicago's most notorious mobsters. Capone's criminal empire and his impact on the Prohibition era are well documented, and this photo offers a glimpse into his notorious life. The mug shot reflects the gritty reality behind his criminal facade. It's a compelling look at one of history's most infamous figures. The Wall Street bombing incident. The Wall Street bombing incident is depicted in this dramatic photograph, showing the aftermath of one of the early 20th century's most significant acts of terrorism. The bombing targeted the financial heart of America and had profound impacts on the city. The image captures the destruction and chaos of the event. It's a powerful reminder of the political and social tensions of the time. The trial of John Wesley Harden, Austin, Texas, 1878. John Wesley Harden's trial in Austin, Texas, is captured in this historical photo, highlighting a key moment in the legal proceedings against the notorious gunslinger. Harden's violent reputation and criminal activities made his trial a significant event in Texas history. The photograph reveals the seriousness of the trial and the attention it garnered. It's a dramatic look at one of the Wild West's most infamous outlaws facing justice. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu, 1970s. This iconic photo of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu captures the golden age of bodybuilding in the 1970s. Their muscular physiques and competitive spirit represent a defining era in the sport's history. The image showcases their dominance and influence in bodybuilding competitions. It's a nostalgic look at the peak of bodybuilding's evolution and its cultural impact. Step inside the lively heart of frontier life at one of Utah's most colorful late 19th century saloons. The Combination Saloon in Utah, late 19th century. The Combination Saloon in Utah, depicted in this photo, was a lively and multifaceted establishment during the late 19th century. Saloons like this one were central to social life in frontier towns, offering drinks, entertainment, and camaraderie. The photograph captures the bustling atmosphere and character of such venues. It's a vibrant glimpse into the social fabric of the Wild West. The legendary Arthur Saxon performing a one-handed deadlift, 1905. Arthur Saxon's legendary one-handed deadlift is captured in this impressive photo from 1905. Saxon's remarkable strength and innovative lifting techniques helped establish him as a pioneer in the world of weightlifting. The image highlights his extraordinary physical abilities and contribution to strength sports. It's a powerful look at one of the early icons of bodybuilding and weightlifting. 12-year-old Hyman Alpert, a veteran newsboy, New Haven, Connecticut, 1909. Young Hyman Alpert, a veteran newsboy at just 12 years old, is featured in this touching photo from 1909. His dedication to selling newspapers reflects the hard work and resilience of child vendors in early 20th century America. The photograph captures his youthful spirit and the demanding nature of his job. It's a heartwarming look at the lives of young newsboys during this era. DeWar's Saloon in Zortman, Montana, 1905. This photograph takes us inside DeWar's Saloon in Zortman, Montana, capturing the lively atmosphere of early 20th century frontier life. Saloon interiors like this were hubs of social activity, where locals gathered for drinks and stories. The image shows a bustling environment, reflecting the vibrant social scene of the Wild West. It's a glimpse into the communal and often rowdy life of frontier towns. Billy the Kid's jail cell, New Mexico, 1880. Here we have Billy the Kid's jail cell in New Mexico, offering a glimpse into the confinement of one of the most infamous outlaws of the Wild West. This cell, filled with history, represents a pivotal moment in Billy the Kid's tumultuous life. The photo captures the stark reality of his imprisonment and the legend that surrounded him. It's a haunting reminder of the price of a life lived on the edge. The End of Prohibition, 1933. This historical photo marks the end of Prohibition in 1933, a significant turning point in American history. The image shows the celebration and relief as the ban on alcohol was lifted, ending a controversial era. It's a moment of triumph and change, reflecting the public's desire to return to normalcy. The end of Prohibition brought a new chapter in American social and economic life. Celebrate the dramatic turning point in American history as the nation rejoiced with the end of Prohibition, closing a controversial chapter. The impact of steroid use in competitive bodybuilding. This photo highlights the significant impact of steroid use on competitive bodybuilding. The use of performance-enhancing drugs has transformed the sport, altering physiques and training methods. The image reflects the controversial nature of steroids and their influence on bodybuilding standards. It's a critical look at how the sport has evolved and the challenges it faces. The impact of bodybuilding on fitness trends worldwide. This photo illustrates the global impact of bodybuilding on fitness trends, showcasing how the sport has influenced health and exercise practices worldwide. Bodybuilding's rise has led to a greater focus on fitness and physical aesthetics. The image reflects the sport's reach and its role in shaping modern fitness culture. It's an inspiring look at how bodybuilding has changed attitudes towards health and exercise. Newsboy Kito, Centola selling before school, Rochester, New York, 1910. Young Kito, Centola, a dedicated newsboy in Rochester, New York, is captured selling papers before school in 1910. His determination highlights the responsibilities and challenges faced by young vendors. The photograph showcases his commitment to both work and education. It's a touching glimpse into the life of a young newsboy balancing his duties. How long can you outrun the law? For Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the answer finally came in 1908. The trial of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Wyoming, 1899. The trial of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in Wyoming, 1899, is captured in this historic photograph, showcasing a key legal moment for these infamous outlaws. Their trial was a significant event, reflecting the intense scrutiny and public interest in their criminal activities. The image reveals the serious nature of their legal battle. It's a dramatic look at the consequences faced by two of the Wild West's most legendary figures. The capture of the Sundance Kid and Butch Cassidy, Bolivia, 1908. The capture of the Sundance Kid and Butch Cassidy in Bolivia. 1908 is a dramatic moment in Wild West history. After years of evading the law, their capture marked the end of their legendary criminal careers. The photograph captures the intensity of their final confrontation with law enforcement. It's a poignant reminder of the inevitable end to their life of crime. A historical comparison of bodybuilding techniques, 1900s versus 2000s. A historical comparison of bodybuilding techniques from the 1900s to the 2000s, highlighting the evolution of training and muscle building methods. The changes in techniques and equipment reflect advancements in fitness science and cultural trends. The image showcases the progression from early bodybuilding to modern practices. It's an insightful look at how the sport has evolved over the decades. The Kwakwaka'wakam house pole, depicting Zunukwa. This photograph showcases the Kwakwaka'wakam house pole depicting Zunukwa, a significant symbol in indigenous art and culture. The intricate carvings and vibrant colors reflect the rich traditions and spiritual beliefs of the Kwakwaka'wak people. The image highlights the importance of ceremonial art in indigenous communities. It's a captivating look at the artistry and cultural heritage of the Kwakwaka'wak. When biceps were bigger than egos, welcome to the 1970s, Mr. Olympia. Bodybuilders competing in the 1970s, Mr. Olympia. This dynamic photo shows bodybuilders competing in the 1970s, Mr. Olympia, a pivotal event in the history of competitive bodybuilding. The era was marked by iconic figures like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu, whose physiques set new standards in the sport. The image captures the competitive spirit and impressive physiques of the time. It's a celebration of bodybuilding's golden age. A young Charles Atlas promoting physical fitness. A young Charles Atlas is featured promoting physical fitness or in his revolutionary bodybuilding program. Atlas's approach to fitness transformed the way people viewed strength and exercise. The image showcases his dedication to promoting a healthy lifestyle. It's an engaging look at one of the pioneers of modern fitness. The Earp brothers, posing after the gunfight at the OK Corral, 1881. The Earp brothers are shown posing after the legendary gunfight at the OK Corral in 1881. This iconic image captures the aftermath of one of the most famous gunfights in Wild West history. The photo reflects their role as lawmen and the dramatic events they were part of. It's a striking portrayal of the legendary figures of the Wild West. Billy the Kid's Last Ride, New Mexico, 1881. Billy the Kid is captured on his last ride through New Mexico in 1881. Known for his legendary escape from lawmen, this moment marks the end of his notorious outlaw career. The image vividly portrays the tense atmosphere surrounding his final days. It's a haunting reminder of the turbulent life of one of the Wild West's most infamous figures. Newsboys returning Sunday papers in Hartford, Connecticut, 1909. This charming photograph shows newsboys returning with Sunday papers in Hartford, Connecticut in 1909. Their determined expressions and hard work highlight the important role they played in news distribution. The image captures a moment of daily life and the industrious spirit of these young vendors. It's a nostalgic look at a time when newsboys were essential to keeping the public informed. A Bowery bootblack in New York City. A Bowery bootblack is seen polishing shoes in New York City, capturing a common street scene from the early 20th century. Bootblacks were a familiar sight, providing a necessary service in the bustling city. The image highlights the everyday labor and entrepreneurial spirit of these young workers. It's a snapshot of urban life and the various roles people played in it. Nakak Talk Men in ceremonial dress with long beaks. In this captivating photo, Nakak Talk men are dressed in ceremonial attire featuring long beaks, highlighting the rich cultural traditions of the Kwakwaka'wak people. The elaborate dress reflects the ceremonial and spiritual significance of the attire. The image provides insight into the cultural practices and artistic expressions of indigenous communities. It's a beautiful representation of traditional indigenous art. Charles Atlas advertising his dynamic tension system, 1920s. This vintage advertisement features Charles Atlas promoting his dynamic tension system during the 1920s. Atlas was a pioneer in fitness training, and his system became widely known for its emphasis on bodyweight exercises. The image reflects the early days of fitness marketing and Atlas's influence on exercise routines. It's a nod to the origins of modern bodybuilding practices. Bill Pickett performing bulldogging stunt, Texas, 1905. Bill Pickett performing his famous bulldogging stunt in Texas, 1905. Known for his skill in roping and taming wild cattle, Pickett's performance was a highlight of rodeo events. The image captures the excitement and skill involved in his daring stunt. It's a thrilling glimpse into the world of early rodeo and cowboy culture. Thanks for your precious time. I hope you enjoyed these rare historical pictures of strange and struggling Wild West people. Subscribe and like the Timeless Frames channel for the more exciting historical videos. See you in the next video. Goodbye.